Exactly. And
Mm.
I feel like, and that's what we're starting to see, and that's what's really interesting. And I think it's really cool too that there's never a moment on the island where it's like, oh, we don't have any men to help us build this, or we don't have any men to help us catch fish or food or like do this.
Mm.
And I was just thinking about that, but it's never, what's so lovely about the show though is it's never nothing is ever pointed to. And you know what I mean? It's all
Mm, for
just,
sure.
that's where I think the writing comes in, the strength of the writing and the character development, because it's never like, oh, look, I'm a woman and I'm badass on this island. Watch me go. I'm so
Yeah.
tough. It's like, okay. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. You don't need exactly what you're saying. Like, it doesn't have to be so on the nose when like
yeah.
someone needs to be carried somewhere or something needs to be built or, these and, traditionally masculine roles need to be filled. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
it just happens. And it's almost like after you watch it, it's like like a little, something that sort of comes into your mind after the fact, which, yeah, I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Stryker. She has, yeah, done a magic job of, you know, writing all of these 9 stories
Mm-hmm.
about these young women. Like, they're so, I could talk about it for days.
Yeah, no, it's
She's an
like me too.
amazing
It's like,
woman.
no, it's so true. And it's like,
Mm,
damn. And I just think too, for just young women, there's like not enough content that's, out there, I think, for young women at such an impressionable age.
mm,
And that also doesn't have to do with sort of like social media. I feel like a lot of content, it's important to talk about social media and its impact. And I think, the show touches upon it a little bit, but it's not the focus because they don't have phones, they don't have that
yeah,
access. So I
yeah,
feel like it's so refreshing to actually see a group of sort of teenage women
mm,
together, not focusing on the outside world and truly
mm,
focusing on each other, their relationships, and
yeah,
learning from each other. And I feel like we rarely get to see that on screen. And obviously, like you mentioned, like placing this show on like a deserted island, you know, is such a brilliant way to sort of do that.
mm,
And it just gets me thinking, like, I wish that it's like, it makes me nostalgic for a time when films and television could be about young women without having that noise of like today's society.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, because we had so many conversations as well, and thinking about like what are the biggest challenges that young women face in the society, in today's society, and
Yeah.
thinking about, obviously, social media plays a really big part of it. But I think, as you said, like in the show, which is something I'm just sort of coming to now, like obviously your phone here plays a big part, but then you have to put that down, and then
Mm-hmm.
you're with yourself, and obviously, you're taking in a lot of content, and that influences decisions or choices or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, you put that down,
Mm-hmm.
like you're still trying to
Mm-hmm.
grow up, you're still trying to figure out who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a massive challenge in itself, like without any of the other layers, just going through that process. I
Yeah.
mean, I know I've had my moments with my family. They've dealt with me at my 15, 16-year-old, and I'm only 21, so I'm still figuring stuff out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's a tiring
And I hate to say it,
process.
it's like I said, and I'm still figuring it. I feel like that's the like, hate to break it to everyone watching,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
the island never ends. No, just kidding. No, but I think it's all about too being in these situations where I think it's not like funny haha, but it's lovely to see too that it's very I'm not explaining this well, but like right off the bat in the show, we understand that it's like these women didn't necessarily face like, it's like they start talking about trauma and what that word means, right? And which means something different to everyone. But it's like they also experienced this event together that bonded them. They start to talk about too how it's not, they're forming relationships, leaning on each other. Maybe these aren't necessarily friendships, but they're meaningful relationships nonetheless.
Mm.
And it's like I'm so curious to see where the series goes in terms of like how this has impacted the women that went through this and how they sort of feel about it, and those conflicting feelings of like, that's really messed up that I was sent to this, that I was put in this position, but yet it made me grow in this way. I mean, how conflicting.
Like how, what like level of self-reflection you have to be like, whew, pretty messed up what happened, but am I better for it? Maybe, you know, like that's, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know if they should, or, you know, I'm like, because as I said, like all these women are coming off. Like what I want for Tony is like, you know, I wanted to hold on to her spirit and her fire, because I think it's like one of the most special things about her is this like untamable spirit. But I want her to like stop fighting, you know, like fighting with herself and fighting with everyone around, and just to sort of like feel settled in that spirit. And I don't know, I'm seeing her life on the island being able to do that for her, because everywhere else in her life, what she's been taught to do is to fight and have to tame the spirit inside of her. And I would never want that like flame to be extinguished. So, but then again,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
I feel like that's so beautiful and that's so relatable. I think that we're always, again, a lot of the times this is directed toward women, that when we have these sort of, I mean, a lot of times a quirky is a word that like is always thrown around.
Yeah.
Quirky,
which
crazy,
encapsulates
like,
so much.
I'm trying to think of all these like typical labels that people put on women, but I think in the essence, what it is this fire, whether it's, you know, an intelligence, a strength, like feistiness, or, you know, and whatever it is. And it's always is trying to be stifled and put out. And it is so hard in life to balance that, right? It's so hard to sort of put out our fires without losing ourselves completely.
Yeah, 100%. And I think about, you know, maybe times in my life and a lot of other times in, you know, my friend's life, it's like, oh, she's quite sassy, or she's, you know, very assertive, and I'm meant to take the criticism that I'm assertive and then turn that into being passive. Like, no, I'm an assertive person, and that is strength, and that's okay, you know, like it is. And I see, like what you were saying at the beginning of this, you know, like these words that are used for women, it's like, you know, being bossy or being these things that I'm then expected to still hold my power, but do it in a way that is palatable for you. No, like like
it's
that's
like impossible. It's like you're asking someone to do the impossible. And also it's like you want to find that, you want any sort of self-improvement and self-discovery to kind of come within at the end of the day. I think that that's what is really precious about the series as well, is that there's a lot of opinions floating around, but there's also moments, like I love how there's moments where y'all just like go, I need to take a walk, or I'm going to go run, or I'm going to go that way, and to self-reflect. There's a lot of self-reflection. I think that's so important, which when we have this noise of the outside world, I think for women, we tend to get into these boxes where we no longer can self-reflect. And that's where like the fires are put out in this sort of dangerous way, or we're suffocated or whatever it is. But
I think also I see on the island, you know, with all these women, and that's so true for, you know, obviously our life as well. It's like they cannot expect themselves to be anything else but themselves. And to expect anything else of yourself, you're setting yourself up for failure. You know, like you are you. That is your entire capability as a person. Is to you know, and like there's and to not be that, or to try to be something else. Yeah, you're setting yourself up for failure. So I'm just like, you gotta do it fully.
Yeah.
What else are you gonna do?
Oh man, no time like the present. All right, well. Before we go, I just have a few quick fun questions. First of all, like I think Tony, the way that Tony eats Takis is like the same way I eat Takis, which is like, or I'm having like an orgasm eating Takis.
And it just has to.
It's like
we can't get them in New Zealand.
No.
I know.
Send you some. Someone's got to send you some. My God, what? That's horrible. They're like, they're my kryptonite. Oh, they're so good. What's your like go-to snack?
Oh, see here. I've been living in Australia for the past year. This is so specific. Like New Zealand, bluebirds, chips, salt and vinegar specifically, like 2 bags.
Ooh.
Just get
Ooh,
it
I
done.
love a salt and vinegar. Ooh,
Oh,
yum.
yeah. Yeah,
Yum. All right.
that's
And
mine.
so, yeah, yum, yum, yum. Since the wilds, it's all about, we're talking about supporting women, uplifting each other, all that good stuff. Who would you like to uplift today? Who's a woman in front of the camera, behind the camera that everyone should have on their radar? And you don't have to pick one, but it's just, time to sort of recognize our
I think
ladies.
maybe someone that I admire.
Mm.
So maybe not somebody, that I personally know. So if they ever see this, it's a bit weird. Stefania Owen, who is in episode 8, her performance was so magic, and I know she spent a lot of time in New Zealand as well. So my New Zealand acting sister, Stefania Owen, I lift you
Ooh,
up today.
I love that. All right, everyone, look out. Episode 8, her performance. Yes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Oh, I love that. I just think it's just fun to just take that moment, give our sisters a shout out.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Well, this was so fun.
It was lovely
so
chatting with
you.
you.
My first.
I know. I feel so blessed.
Run first, baby.
I know.
Anyways, this was so lovely. Thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me today. I don't know what time it is there for you.
11:30. I'm
late?
going
Is
to
it
have some
early?
lunch.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
perfect timing. You've nailed it.
Oh, all right. Well, very sweet. And gosh, I love the series so much. Everyone's got to just binge it. And you can. It's all available right now on Prime Video.
Nice.
Thank God.
Get it. Yeah.
Teasing shit of like,
nah,
give me 3 episodes, make me wait.
In.
No. Yeah.
Nah. I'm thrilled you enjoy it.
Yes, I love it. And just thank you so much. And I hope we can chat again soon.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right. Well,
brilliant.
Enjoy the rest of your day, night, morning.
Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah. Is there anyone you want to give? Does anyone comment? Anyone have any questions really quick before we go? Just a lot of love, a lot of support.
Oh my God, so much love and support. You guys are crazy. I love it.
All right. Well, thanks for watching, everyone.
Yeah, thank you everybody for tuning in. And nice chatting with you, Meg.
Oh my gosh, I love this. I literally could go on and on, but they won't let me. They're like, keep it.
But we gotta go.
All right.
Brilliant.
All right, stay safe.
You too. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.